It's a little program we like to call Ask Mr. Biggs, and we're back, and we've got another fine collection of questions and answers.
What is it? You'd think that all four of the wheels would be on the floor at the same time. Confound it. I don't like it when you are higher than I am. Have to adjust. Yeah.
Are you having caster problems?
This functional carpet that you've put in here in the studio, Roger, it does not allow for smooth gliding.
Well, I didn't put any of the carpet in. That's not something I do. I just come in and do this. So maybe Mr. Mintow.
You can get one of those vinyl covers you get at the office store. You put those down. You can roll the chair around on it. Then makes it easy.
Next time I talk to Mr. Mintow, I'll ask about that and see if he can do something about that.
Whatever. I don't even know what that means. Next call. Let's just move on. Move it along.
We've got a call. We've got a call ready to go. Line 7 is ready to roll. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hi. I listen to your show all the time at work.
Well, you're very fortunate, sir. It's hard to get a signal in a lot of businesses around here, I've found, with the heavy construction, with a lot of cinder block buildings that are reinforced with steel. And
question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old.
30-year-old male. Got it. Go ahead.
My body, my testicle, is one side bigger than the other. I was wondering, is that normal?
Well, it depends on what you're asking. I mean, are you asking me if it's normal for you to be, spending so much time looking at your junk?
Well,
wait, no, you mean is it normal for one to be bigger than the other one?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, it actually depends on your method of measurement. So, there's so many different ways that you could, we don't even know if we're talking about volume or girth. How is it that you know that one of them's bigger than the other?
Well, if I look at it at the mirror, I would say one side is probably like half of it, and the other side is like half of the side bigger than the other.
I don't.
So you're just using a mirror?
Yes.
Geez, where do I start? You've got to have the right equipment, okay?
Sure.
You can't just be eyeballing this. This is not something that you want to guesstimate. I believe is the word. Is that a word?
Yeah, guesstimate. Yeah. He's guesstimating.
Okay, so what you want to have a pair of calipers. You can get those at your Harbor Freight. If you don't have one already, also pick yourself up a digital micrometer. You need a seamstress's tape measure as well.
That would take care of the girth part. Yeah. Handle girth. So
and
once
if you got a highball glass, fill that up with tap water. Set that down on the table.
What is he just to have something?
We're going to do some displacement. We're going to see if the actual volume, if there's any change from one side to the other.
So he needs to get
have a plate out to gather the displaced liquid.
He needs
measure that. A glass pipette that you could use to measure accurately the amount of water displaced, and a postal scale that'll measure in grams and ounces. Want to have one of those?
I'm a little lost here. He's supposed to get his testicles onto a postal scale and
yes.
No, wait, don't. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Is density an issue?
The problem I have most with is that I'm fearful that he's going to be standing in his room in front of his mirror and somebody's going to walk in and we're going to have an uncomfortable situation for both parties. So make sure when you measure them properly with the right equipment, you do that in its proper place, out in the garage where the tools are. Don't be doing that in front of the mirror. And when you're done, for goodness sakes, wash your hands. It's disgusting.
But what he's been doing up to this point, just sort of eyeballing in the mirror, just kind of taking a look at. He's probably.
He shouldn't spend so much time looking at his junk, Roger. And we shouldn't be spending so much time thinking about him looking at his junk.
situations that are so degrading to his manly and strong public image. Are you still here?
Ask Mr. Biggs is the program, and we take phone calls and emails, and we answer all kinds of questions about just about anything you can think of about home improvement,
affairs of the heart,
right? Emotional matters or
automotive repair,
do-it-yourself repairs around the home,
doodads and what's-its,
even health and fitness issues. You can take
automotive repair. Bigscast at. You can You can call in your questions, or you can email them. And I forget. Bigscast at
gmail.com. That's the email.
I was going to say gmail.com. I was going to say that.
Well, that's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But that's the email address that you're talking about right there.
Two G's.
Right. Bigscast with 2 G's.
Yeah.
At
gmail.com.
Gmail.com. That's if you want to email a question, and boy, that's getting to be a popular way for people to ask Mr. Biggs. And it looks like a gentleman out in Sprinkler Summit would like to ask Mr. Biggs this question right here.
Yeah.
Mr. Biggs.
Yeah.
During these hot summer months, my family and I have been eating lots of frozen desserts, milkshakes, snow cones,
I thought you were lactose intolerant.
Well, I am, but this is what the gentleman who's written in is doing.
So you're reading now.
Yeah, this is not.
Roger, you got to tell the people that you're reading the email. I thought you were talking to me.
Well, I am.
For goodness sakes, how many times have we done this? It's not hard. It's not a hard job. There's no heavy lifting involved.
Well,
get it together.
Okay. Well, I'm reading an email from Glenn out in Sprinkler Summit, and he writes, Mr. Biggs, and these are his words. During these hot summer months, my family and I have been eating lots of frozen desserts.
Come on, move it along.
Milkshakes, snow cones, ices, Kula-Koos, popsicles, 50-50 bars, that sort of thing. While enjoying these cold treats, we occasionally get ice cream headaches.
Kula-Koos.
My kids call it brain freeze. And what causes ice cream headaches, and what can we do about it when it happens? That's from Glenn in Sprinkler Summit, who's got a problem. He and his family have been enjoying the frozen snack treats, and
too many of them. It sounds like you have too many. Your family's going to end up fat and dead eventually. You're eating them too fast. Take a moment to take a breath, fatty. For goodness sakes.
Well, that can't.
It's summer anyway. You're going to be sweating, and if you're fat, you probably sweat more when you eat. And if you're eating that much stuff, for goodness sakes, somebody's trying to tell you something. I mean, come on, slow it down.
Well, that can be a problem if you get a milkshake and you're drinking it, and sometimes it's so good you don't realize how good it is.
Spread it out over a period of time for maximum refreshment.
I think what Glenn out in Sprinkler Summit wants to know is what's happening inside the body to cause this reaction, to have this
it's
strange,
making your head hurt.
This very strange deep headache in our heads. Yeah, in our heads.
Yeah, that's why they call it a headache. It's a pain in your head. So a lot of people get them. Not always when they eat cold things. Sometimes they get them for other reasons. Sometimes bright lights, loud sounds.
Right, exactly.
Excessive drug use.
Right, exactly. But that's I'm sure him and his family are not enjoying recreational drugs or anything like that.
Well, what they're enjoying is the miracle of evolution, because that is what is at work here, Roger. You see, early man, Cro-Magnon, was engaged in a long struggle for survival. You see, every single day that they walked on the earth, they were in danger from all different kinds of animals. Beasts of all various sizes. You got pterodactyls and woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and flustering wamboozits and all kinds of no-goodniks. Naturally, these prehistoric men, they're not going to have time to stop and enjoy a cup of frozen yogurt. snowball or whatever it is, maybe an icicle they broke off a low-hanging branch. Because if they
did, they'd get an ice cream headache.
Well, no, not at first. They often paid with their lives.
I don't understand.
Well, they'd stop and start licking away, and next thing you know, saber-toothed tiger comes up and rips out a jugular, and you're kaput. You're tiger poop at that point.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Now, if more advanced early man had found himself enjoying a prehistoric shaved ice, his brain would freeze up, give him an ice cream headache running down the side of his head. That was his brain saying, "Hey, body rubble, no time for treats. T-Rex is coming. Come on, drop the snow cone. Let's keep it moving."
Oh, so it was...
Gotta keep it moving.
It was some sort of internal alarm that warned him that danger was afoot. And
all those that were lucky enough to develop the reflex, they got to survive, and they moved on. Their genes were passed on. But those who didn't do it, they ate them all up.
I see. So
T-Rex would come and chop them right in half. So it's big in sizes.
So the headache was sort of an early warning system that basically said...
No, not necessarily. It was sort of a signal to let them know that they had to be careful, and they can't stay stationary too long. And that's what you and your kids are doing, sir. Sitting on your couch eating drumstick after drumstick, and before you know it, you're going to be disemboweled by some sort of woolly mammoth. And you'll have what's coming to you. You'll get your just desserts. You'll enjoy your dessert then, won't you? Way to go, Darwin.
Nowadays it might be maybe a pit bull.
Yeah. Like a pterodactyl. Something.
Or a...
Stegosaurus.
A hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a... if they're living out in the woods, up in the hills, maybe a bear.
Yeah.
But not a...
Maybe a pterodon.
Thinking maybe a pit bull.
Plesiosaur. Come right in. Take you down.
Armando says that we've got another call on hold, waiting to come on the air with his question. And
where?
Well, we can't see him. He's on phone, so we're not going to be able to see him.
I'm looking at the phone. Where is he? Which line?
3.
Armando says 3.
I can hear you, Roger. So it's on line 3 then.
Line 3 is going to be the next call, and
I just like to know where I am. We're going to line 3.
Yeah, we're gonna go to line 3. Okay, caller, welcome. It's time for you to ask Mr. Biggs.
There's nobody there.
Hello.
Hello. Caller, hello.
We've got a problem with.
Go to another call, Roger.
Should we? Okay.
Wait.
Do we want to?
Okay.
Can we? Armando says, can we go to that one, or is that one? Is that one we can?
Try it again.
Hello, call. It's time for you to ask Mr. Biggs.
Hello?
Yes, hello, sir. Do we have a good connection?
Oh, it's great.
Good.
No. Actually, it's still not too hot. It's still a little bit odd.
Let me get you off speakerphone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's something that's...
Hey, Armando, I got a new rule for you. Tell people when you're screening the calls before they go on the air, if they're using a speakerphone, they need to get off of the speakerphone. Put that at the bottom of the list.
What list?
Yeah. Yeah, when people are calling, just tell them.
Every time?
Tell them to, roll the window up and all that other stuff and to get off the speakerphone.
Can you hear me?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's not perfect, but just go ahead.
But anyway, I have a friend, an elderly man who is very depressed. He's gay. I'm also gay. And He's very kind. He's nice.
Yeah.
We all live by ourselves now.
Right.
He had helped me. But there's another friend.
Wait, before you go on, who's that first guy?
I won't give his name. But,
You're talking about Milton, right?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he,
Milton's always walking around with those shiny shirts. You know Milton, right, Roger?
Yeah, I've spoken with Milton before. Yeah, I know who he is.
okay. But anyway, I care for him, but he's a loudmouth. He teases me like he likes to be like a little kid and stuff. And I'm in the middle of
I
it.
got to be honest with you. I cannot understand why anybody would want to hang around with you if you're making that silly voice like that. I mean, it sounds like a cartoon. Stop it with the voice.
I have no teeth.
Oh.
And him and...
That's probably why they want to hang out with you so much, I'm thinking now. Because from what I understand, people with no teeth are very popular in the alternative lifestyle community. Right, Roger? That's neither here nor there. Never mind about that.
Okay.
Well, what's your original question anyway?
How do I get these two people
Milton and that other guy, right?
to begin to like each other? Not sexually or anything like that, but these to be friends.
They what?
These to be friends.
I cannot understand a word that you were saying. And I'm just going to have to ask you to find your teeth and call back later after you get them in place because it's difficult to understand.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Armando. Hey, Armando, new rule. Put it down at the bottom.
What?
When callers call in, I want them to have their windows rolled up if they're driving.
I know.
Yeah. If people are on the speakerphone, tell them to get off the speakerphone. I want a landline.
You told me that.
And if they don't have teeth, ask them to put their teeth in, the false ones, if they've got them. If they don't, they can call back after they get them.
That's something that you don't really think about, but if somebody doesn't have any teeth, they're going to have a tough time, sounding out the words. And, if they're in the room...
I'm not completely convinced that guy was for real. Funny guy.
Well, he
if
said
that was you putting on a funny voice and you thought that was funny, it wasn't. That was distracting.
If you thought...
We're trying to broadcast.
You thought it was me? What? Huh?
I know what you're up to.
Yeah,
that was very funny. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah.
Dad, what about,
Yes?
homosexuals?
Many homosexuals are social misfits because they are often psychologically unstable.
Ooh, they're freaky anyway.
Unfortunately, some homosexuals may make you feel uncomfortable in their presence.
Boy, whenever I get the business from a queer, well, gee, I get so uptight I don't know whether to ignore it or belt him.
Idiot.
Yes, since many homosexuals are extremely promiscuous and engage in sexual contact upon the spur of the moment, literally with people they don't know and will never see again.
How about the gooky stuff? The foams and jellies.
They are the female counterpart of the male homosexual, such as a transvestite who dresses and acts like a woman, to the point where only close examination, and I mean close, reveals what gender they truly are.
Ugh, the whole business still turns me off.
Homo.
Queer.
Idiot.
Yeah.
As much as we'd like to help the listeners, when they call in with their questions, it's if we can't make out what they're saying, we're gonna have to call it a day and ask them to slip in their teeth and call back later, and that's.
I couldn't help but notice that both of your shoes, Roger, are laced differently. Look at that. Over under.
Is that
over
are they different?
under over on the one side, then you got over under on the other side.
They're different. They look.
Yeah. Look at that.
I guess they do.
Asymmetrical. It's not an attractive look. People generally don't care for asymmetrical looks, and you've sported one.
Well, I guess I'll have to fix that when I get home. I didn't. It's not something that I tried to do. I wasn't trying to do an asymmetrical over under. I wasn't trying to do them.
Well, you clearly weren't trying to on that foot, because on the other foot you did. That's what you did.
What I mean is I wasn't trying to do them differently. Yeah. I just laced them up. Maybe
you're trying to send a signal out to people that you are not interested in human contact. Maybe it's subconscious. You're telling people you'd rather not deal with them. So you're sending out these subliminal messages.
Oh, I don't.
You are not a pleasant person to be around. Stay back.
I can't.
One of the many signals.
Well, no, that's not this. I'm not trying to send that signal out at all. I just, in fact, just the opposite. I think the signal I'm trying to send out is, well,
surly.
No,
yeah.
I think the signal I'm trying to send out is heck. How you doing?
Well, no wonder with all the cursing. How do you expect people to be open to you meeting new people like yourself, walking around with your shoes?
I can assure you.
Doesn't matter how you lace them, Roger, as long as you do it symmetrically. You got to do it the same on one side as you do on the other. Mirror images.
I can assure you. You
got the long bowman on the one side, and on the right side, you've got a cross river half train. Look at that.
The long bowman.
Completely different lacing schemes.
They look very similar.
Yeah, they do. They're very similar, but they are different.
I just want to make it clear that I am sending out nothing but
negative
friendly
signals.
Friendly signals to everyone that I come across that I'm open and welcome to whatever they want to share.
Whatever. That's what that means. That means whatever.
The thing with the
fingers.
With the fingers and
whatever.
the thumb index, yeah. And that's
that's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Yeah, my niece taught that one to me.
What?
I told her enough with the Hannah Montana already. And she looked at me and said, whatever.
This is Ask Mr. Biggs. The program you're listening to right now is Ask Mr. Biggs. If you've got any kind of question for Mr. Biggs,
feel free. 75 different ways, Roger, to lace up your shoes. 75. Did you know that?
I figured there'd probably be a few, but 75,
yeah, 75
you say?
different ways. No more, no less. And you got two different ones there.
Why don't you just go to line 1?
We've got a gentleman on the phone lines here with another question. It's time for you, sir, to ask Mr. Biggs. Hello.
Yeah, I have a question about plants and animals. There's over 30 million different types of animals and plants and bacteria, and how did the plants survive underwater?
Okay, well, first of all, the problem is you got your numbers wrong, because there's only about 100 different kinds of plants on Earth at any given moment, and you're saying that there's like millions of them.
There are.
No, that's actually a misconception. There's only about 100 different varieties of plants on Earth.
Somebody's got their information wrong.
Secondly, surviving underwater is not that difficult, okay? It's not mystical, all right? Take the shark, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's got fins to swim around. It's got gills for them to breathe. Now, over time, these creatures have evolved to suit their environment.
Well, how about plants? How did the plants survive?
I'm getting to that. Hold on, okay? Now,
that was the shark.
Now, what you're seeing different varieties of the same 100 plant species that have adapted for their environment that the plants are living in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when it's cold outside. What do? You put on a jacket, right? Oh, well, unless you're Roger, then you probably put on like a sweater.
Layers.
Yeah. Some sort of jumper. Snow pants. Doesn't matter.
Now that's can I step in right here and just clarify something, or did you?
What?
I got one jumper a couple of winters ago because I figured it would be practical. It would be a practical item to have in your wardrobe when it gets cold, because you don't have to deal with so many different pieces. You just have one piece that you can climb into. I tried it out.
It doesn't really matter. The point is that circumstances will dictate what traits a certain organism like Roger requires in his environment at a given time.
So are you inferring that some of the core plant and animals changed into different types of plants and animals over the years?
No. Plants are plants and animals are animals. Animals can't change into plants, and plants can't change into animals. If they could, we'd have a bunch of monkey weeds running all over the place. Talking about organisms that over time will alter themselves. There's a word for it, actually. You're probably not familiar with it. It's called adaptation.
Adaptation. Okay.
Yeah.
Adaptation. That's change over time.
Now, don't get the wrong idea. I don't want you to think that you could, like as a human being, stay underwater for like a really long time, and suddenly, at a magic moment, you would acquire the ability to live there forever.
Well, depending on how long you evolve for.
I don't follow you.
Because we're talking about millions of years for evolution.
Well, of course not. There's no way you're going to be able to evolve fast enough to live underwater.
Well, some plants evolve in one cell division.
No. You got a poor knowledge base, sir.
Well, I have a master's in biology. I don't see how it's that poor.
Okay, well, answer this then. If we got plants underwater, right, and we got plants on land, why then do we not have plants in space?
I don't know.
Exactly. Next call.
Very much like early man with the icicles and the frozen treats. If he
I was
had,
talking about sharks and sweaters, Roger. You were not listening again.
but with the sharks and the plants and adaptation, that was very similar to what happened with man and the ice cream headaches. Prehistoric man adapted with the brain freeze in order to avoid the woolly mammoths.
All right, Roger, settle down. Slow down. You're seeing connections that aren't there. All right, I understand how you want to, and that's fine.
So that's
completely different topics, completely different subjects. Can we please move on to the next call, Roger?
We're out of time for calls, but I just wanted
to you ran out the clock. Those poor people, they wait all that time to call in. They're thinking they're going to get through, and now they can't.
But there aren't any other calls. But I know that we still need to mention what's happening. We've got a very exciting Thursday night at Whiz Bangs.
Yeah, Whiz Bangs.
Coming up, and we'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to clarify, in the wintertime, I just wanted to send this, just bear with me for 10 seconds here.
Why are you so defensive about the jumper?
I'm not defensive. I just want to warn people that in the catalog, the jumper looks like a good idea, but the problem is that it's not very pliable. Say, for instance, you're out walking in the cold weather and the jumper's keeping you warm, but then you've got to crawl into your car, to drive somewhere. You can't sit in a car comfortably because of all the extra material. It kind of pinches and binds and grabs sort of down in the
ankles,
groin area, down in the groin area.
Roger, what are you doing? For Pete's sake, watch your mouth. Come on.
Did I get it?
This Thursday night at Whiz Bangs.
Just a little late. You almost got it.
Sorry.
No,
a little late.
I'll do better.
Better luck next time.
It's sticking.
He's still learning that button. I think he said it sticks.
Sticky.
Sticks a little bit. It's kind of hard to. Thursday night at Whiz Bangs, you've got a big. I know you've got a big.
Yeah, do the thing first before I go into this.
Oh yes, Whiz Bangs at the corner of Phillips and Mount in downtown, where the fun never ends and the parties never end.
It's Thursday night at Whiz Bangs. Approaching once again, it's Whiz Bangs' annual haircut battle royale. Always a popular event at Whiz Bangs, and once again, it is that time of year. Come out with your freshest haircuts. We'll be judging haircuts on style, on shortness, longness, sassiness, color, texture, and creativity. As always, grand prize winners will be awarded in every category. If you won last year, you are not permitted to enter this year's contest. At Whiz Bangs this Thursday night, contest begins at 9:45 p.m. Please arrive early. First come, first in the contest. And the prize in each category will be a 10% off coupon on your next haircut at Luann's Cut Hut. That gets the price down to right around where it should be, actually. So that's good.
Okay. So that's this
Thursday night at Whiz Bangs.
So folks still have a few
corner
days.
Of Phillips and Mountain.
Downtown. Whiz Bangs, where the fun never ends and the party's never ending.
Yes.
And so folks have a few days to get their creativity caps on. And
no, if you wear a hat, we're not going to see your haircut. And you will be disqualified. So help me God, I will disqualify you if you come into my place wearing a cap.
It's you've got a few days to get your haircuts and go head on down to Whiz Bangs for the annual
Whiz Bangs annual haircut battle royale. Always a crowd pleaser.
Whiz Bangs, corner of Phillips and Mountain downtown, where the fun never ends and the party's never ending.
I'm a little bit concerned about your attention span, Roger. Little tiny bit. You don't seem to be on your game this week.
But you understand what I'm saying about the jumpers and I'm just saying it's a lot of material that will rise up and sort of gather in one area.
Nobody believes you that that's what that was. You can call it bunching, you can call it batting, you can call it padding, but it was clear what state you were in.
I'm just trying to, send out some words of wisdom to the listeners, just to, think twice.
It wasn't any kind of shadow. It wasn't an optical illusion.
I saw it too.
When they see the jumper.
It wasn't a trick of light.
In the catalog.
Everybody knew.
Think twice.
You were hard.
Control your thoughts, Roger.
Happy ending.
Automotive repair.